All right, we are at 10267 199th Street West in Lakeville. There's the house. It's on the corner of 199th Street and Jasmine Avenue West. Right down the road here is Lake Marion. You can actually see Lake Marion here behind and between the houses on the other side of the street. So obviously that's south. This is looking east on the corner down 199th Street. This is looking in the north direction on Jasmine Avenue West. There's the intersection. Kind of some vacant space around here. A little lake neighborhood, so you've got random houses that are old and small and medium and rough condition, and then, you know, newer ones that have been built across the street. So let's take a look inside. And from the outside you can see it's got this little small deck on this side, on the street side, and the reason is, and we'll see from the inside of the property, there's very little backyard. There's hardly any backyard. There's just the adjoining side property or the next property up the road there, so there's not a lot of backyard. So really this is kind of like the functional yard space for this lot. It's got a big tree in the front yard. So we'll look at the house as we walk along. There's obviously snow on the roof, but from what I can see of the roof, looks like the shingles are probably fairly new. The exterior is a masonite and maybe some cedar, and that's kind of wearing away. But let's get a zoom in on the shingles here, and you can possibly see that they are in pretty solid condition. They must have been a new improvement. 3-car garage, although we'll see they've added some stairs into the garage to the upper level that kind of interfere with accessing maybe all 3 spaces conveniently. You can get a look. Not sure what the flashing situation is along the roof line to the siding, but there's some moisture being absorbed by the siding and deterioration that you can see along the side of the roof. And you can also see that along the front of the house in certain places. Definitely in need of an exterior paint job, but there's some moisture damage where the paint is chipped off and water's gotten up inside the siding there. Wood crank out windows, and you can see the sills. Somebody has not been maintaining this property the way it should have been maintained over the years, so you've got damage to the sills and the windows as well. Little sidewalk in front. Here's the view of the neighborhood from the front stoop. Across the street, those houses back up to the lake. You know, some more trees on the other side of the driveway. And let's go inside. There's some more moisture damage you can see along the base of the house where the siding meets the stoop. Moisture's gotten up inside the frame of the door, so that's now damaged. Old soffits. Yeah. Split entry style. This house was in the process, undoubtedly, of being redone when they ran out of money and the bank took it back. So let's start upstairs. I think they may have expanded the landing here to make it a little more convenient, but you'll see that some strange choices going on in here. So they've got some little 2x4 railings set up, and I can't assume that they intended those to be permanent, although they did a pretty good job of putting up, so maybe they did. But you can look into the basement here and to the upper level. Let's go upstairs first. This would be where the coat closet would be, at the top of the stairs. And the living space on this level is pretty limited. This is the living area, the living room. Let's go to the corner here and take a look back. And over there, on the other side of the stairway, is the kitchen and the only dining space that there is. So I'm not sure if this house was put together as goofy as it has become, but for a house that supposedly could be finished to about 2,300 square feet, according to the MLS report, it seems it could have a better dining area. But let's take a look at some of the details. You can see these crank out wood windows. have suffered some sun damage, drying out, and some moisture dripping down the windows over the years. So these sills and these windows, although the panes still seem to be intact, they're pretty rough, so they need to be refinished at the very least, possibly replaced. And obviously you can see you've got this press board here mixed with some plywood over here, and there are gaps. I'm not sure what that does, how a subfloor should or shouldn't look, but it's I'm not super impressed with the work that's been done here, and wait till we get to the basement. So here's the only eating area that you've got. You've got another bay window in the kitchen, but where you've got the kitchen, but this is it. There's not a dining room. So, and this is barely an informal dining area. This is really just an eat-in kitchen where you can put a table under that light fixture. So you put a table right here and you could eat here, but that's it. Eat-in kitchen, no separate dining area at all. And again, just a weird use of space as you walk up to this little sidewall, and you're divided from the living area from the entry and the staircase. So that's odd. So that's what's going on in here. Again, the windows are in similar condition. Some of the electrical looks like it might have been rerun, you'll see in the basement, and looks like there may have been some moisture concerns in here, and maybe that's why everything's sprayed with white. I mean, you can see, it's just randomly sprayed in here. So that might have been a preventative measure because the house was gutted and vacant. So it's a kitchen. Only 2 bedrooms on this level. But before we get to them, let's start with this other interesting choice that they've made. And again, I'm not sure if this is part of the renovation or if the house was always like this. And I guess it could have always been like this. You can kind of see the wallpaper underneath this paint. But what we've got here is the door to the garage. And unfortunately, there's no light in the garage. I'll try to get a little flashlight so you can get a look out there and see what's going on. But again, there's the kitchen. So the back wall of the kitchen is taken up by this big mudroom area that would definitely have a spot for a washer and dryer. That would be the coat closet, and you got a laundry tub. But this is a pretty wide space to be taken up, livable space on the upper floor when there was already an access into the house through the lower level. So here's the closet. Now, hopefully this shows up somewhat with the flashlight. But what they've done is they've created this stairway and this landing. Trying to light this up as best I can. So the stairway goes down into the garage area, and then here, and maybe it kind of shows up just with this is the garage. So unfortunately you can't see anything, and I can't get a light on in here. Really large garage space, but this wall that comes up to that upper level where we just came from takes up a good 3.5 feet of space into the garage where you'd ordinarily be parking your car. This is the garage door, and you can see that's right in line with this wall, and a shelf that runs the length of the garage. And back here is originally what you'd have. It's just this little section here, this little walkway. So this whole stairway could be removed because there's already an access to the lower level down here. But go back the way that we came. Be out of the darkness in a second. So you have the stairs, and then there's a little landing up here. And this is the way you come into the house, into the mudroom, which takes up a lot of valuable space on the upper level. Here's what I believe is going to be, or was going to be, the master bedroom. Large space, probably 13 by 15 feet. Big window into the backyard. That would be one closet. I would assume that would be another closet. And that doorway is to the it's a walk-through master bath. So they got new plywood in here. The walls are gone. And the other side of this is the outside. The other side of this is the garage. So it's cold in here. The insulation's out of there. You can see some of the electrical is still in place. Popcorn ceiling fan. While we're up here, let's take a look out of the backyard. So we're obviously against the back of the house looking out the upper level window. You can see how close the property line is of this yellow house back there. There's the garage, so there's very, very limited amount of space in the quote-unquote backyard, and in reality there is not a backyard. It's just this house over here. So that's a -2. Okay, bathroom. So going through the walkthrough, or what I assumed was supposed to be the walkthrough, this, I guess, is where the toilet is going to go, or the drain, or was there at one point. And I guess this would have been the shower bathtub area. That's where the shower would run up, I guess, and this would be the drain for the bathtub, I think. Yep, definitely. So this big bathroom area, and most of the space, instead of being devoted to the tub, you've got this wider, larger area with a couple drains. That must be the vanity and the double sink. And here's the old light bar, still kind of hanging from the wall. Nice. So it didn't look like they really redesigned this bathroom at all, but there you have it. Toilet, bathtub around the corner, vanity right there, and just vacant walls. So then there's another bedroom over here. New floors. Pretty good sized bedroom. Just a regular closet over here. And again, we look out the back window into Jasmine Street or Avenue, and then the neighboring property right there. So not a bad sized room, but again, only 2 bedrooms on this level. A lot of space taken up by that big mudroom, and of course, no dining area. Let's go to the downstairs, which shouldn't take long due to the fact that it's just wide open space, completely gutted, and a lot of space down here. But there's over from where we came, and yeah, it's just framing and concrete. It's a window to the front, dangling electrical. So you can hear the furnace running, the blower motor's on, but there's no heat coming out of it. It does look pretty old and rusty, so I'm not sure if that's still functional. Same situation with the hot water heater, looks old and rusty. But wide open space down here. That's a window to the back. A couple beams holding up the floor or the ceiling. Over there's that's the original garage door that would go into the garage of the house from the lower level. Let's go back to this corner and take a scan around. Apparently some rough-in plumbing over here. Big, wide open, generally a square down here. Almost a perfect square, equal in both directions. You've got the stairway kind of blocking that section, but I guess with the windows, you could put a bedroom there, you could put a bedroom over here, have a living space in this section, and I guess the rough-in for the bath over there. But they put in some recessed lighting, which are dangling there, and actually it looks like these probably were there before they ripped out the ceiling. You can kind of see the cracks through the floor above, the gaps that were left when they put the new plywood in up there. Again, the view to the neighbor. Hey, you got your trailer in my backyard. Hello. But this is it. I don't know what else to show down here. Big, wide open area. I'm not an expert in electrical, so I can't really comment on what's going on, except that whatever has been done has been taken apart and not finished. You can see the plumbing above, air ducts right there, and some copper plumbing from the water heater to the various parts of the house. And here's that other section on the front. Look out here. But wide open down here, which is nice. It's a neighborhood. So the lower level has potential just because it's so wide open. Everything's movable, can be switched how you want it. But again, take one last look at the upstairs before signing off. And again, you've got a dining area that just doesn't living room and a dining area that just doesn't offer any space. So this has been 10267 199th Street West in Lakeville. Thanks for watching.